Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Rodeo Time, the podcast. That's Tony's noise. Yeah. We are in Las Vegas, Brisby City, as I like to call it, specifically at the Mirage, home of Dale Brisby, and it's where we're having the after party every night. But right now it's morning time. We got the fifth round today. We got two champs with us, and Rusty Wright and brother Statler Wright. Yeah. Are you just like so ready to be at the NFR watching your brothers?
Yeah, it's starting to drive me nuts. I just have to sit in the stands. I've been there. What, this would be 18 years now.
Yeah, your whole life.
Rodeo.
Yeah.
I'm ready to be on those yellow buck and shoots.
Do you feel like sorry, the intro sometimes can get a little lengthy. We talk a lot about bronc riding. It's hard for Donnie and I not to fangirl. Do you feel like having been here so often, like that helps you, and watching your dad like as a kid, like did that help you with your first NFR?
Yes, because it wasn't. I didn't. You know, it wasn't. It wasn't new to me.
Right.
I mean, it was new to me, but I watched my dad since 2003. What he did, how he did it, how he carried himself, and I really do think it really helped. You know, you pick somebody you want to be like or ride like, and he's mine, and I got to. I don't know, I'm spoiled.
You got up close.
Yeah, I've been up close, and I got to see, in my opinion, the greatest bronc rider in the world to ever.
Right.
I got to watch him do it my whole life, and I think that really helped my first NFR, my second. Well, every time because I wasn't overthinking it because I watched it done so many times.
You became familiar with it.
Yeah, and you never get used to it. Like, I don't think, and I'm just speaking for me, you don't ever get over them first round jitters ever.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody gets nervous like I do, but that first round it's like your first bronc ever. I blacked out every time. Every year, all 5 of my NFRs, I blacked out on the first horse.
Thank goodness it's the souped up hoppers.
Yeah, no. If they started with the eliminators.
Yeah, no thanks. Yeah. They got them spaced out perfectly. Because then it's like, then you take, after the eliminators, you take a little break with hoppers, semi, and then the TV pin.
Yeah, it is nice. They punish you,
yeah,
and let you have fun. Then they punish you, and let you have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we talk a lot about, very specific, we get into bronc riding, we talk about the saddle, we talk about entering, what it's like to be, a brother, a son in the Wright family, and just rodeoing. So hopefully you're a fan of rodeo, and if you are, then you'll enjoy this podcast. How long did we talk for, Donnie?
About an hour and a half.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Could have gone longer had we not have some autograph signings to get to.
Yeah. I got to get to my signing. Sorry, cut it short, guys.
Yes, Donnie Ray Daytona. I'll be at the Cavender's booth 11.
Come check me out.
And now on to the podcast. Yeah, 2021. You guys like travel here in a little pack. Do you guys have a van y'all rodeo in? Big old. I'd see like a passenger van.
Well, we'd like to. I'm a big minivan guy, but we just use the old Dodge with the Capri on the back.
Yeah.
We all kind of like to do the, what's it called when you
Caravan.
Yeah. Okay. When we pulled out of Beaver, we had a big old line coming down I-15.
Yeah. So I remember that because I think it was Goliad, maybe 2016 when I met Ryder for the first time. I think that was his first pro rodeo.
Yeah.
Well, I know it was his first pro rodeo. I can't remember what year though.
It was 16. He got on Wiggle Worm.
Yes, of Corcos.
I wasn't there, but
yeah.
that was the first one he went to, and then he won it. So
yeah, no, 100%. I pulled up, and him and your dad were there, and it was just him and Cody, and I don't think Cody was entered.
No, he wasn't.
Right, and then I was getting on. What did I get on? Going South, and anyway, we were back there, and Stace's rodeos, as a lot of rodeos do, have intermission, and he was like, "Hey,
and I knew it was his first rodeo, and I met him and shook his hand. And he was like, everybody kind of started walking off, and he was like, what's intermission? And I was like, well, they run it pretty quick, and they want to, like, you know, sell some food and beer, and so they take this little just 9-minute, 10-minute break, and then they'll start with broncs right after. And he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, and then he was like, first or second out, and Wiggle Worm was like, went out there and went like left and right and then back to the right, and he just never fazed him. Nothing ever fazed him. Like the whole, you know, he was just like, oh, intermission. Oh, yeah, NFR horse. Oh, okay. 86 and a half, or what? Is it 86 or 86 and a half? And, yeah, he won the rodeo.
Yeah, they call him the Iceman for a reason. He's got ice running through his veins.
Yeah. That's crazy. Is he like that with everything?
Oh, yeah. He don't let too much rile him up or get him too excited. He stays pretty.
Which one of y'all is most like Cody?
Probably Ryder.
Is it Ryder?
Yeah,
that's what I always thought.
The way he acts, it's quiet, and they're both quiet, and they don't say too much.
Yeah. At what age do each of you guys realize, like, hey, I want to ride broncs?
I was a sophomore.
I was about a sophomore. I wanted to be a bull rider till I was a freshman, and I got mucked out, kept getting mucked out. So I was like, I remember I collapsed my lung. I got stomped on at a high school rodeo, collapsed my lung, and I told my dad when I was laying in the hospital, I'll quit riding bulls if you go get me a bronc saddle.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah. He called Randy George right away.
Yeah.
I imagine y'all were in the shop like that day.
Yeah.
How far do you live from him?
It's 7 hours or 6.5 hours,
Yeah.
7 hours. Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I figured you guys came out of the womb in a bronc saddle.
Yeah. Randy George is G-Bar G bronc saddles. And, the official saddle of the Wright family.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And he helps us out a lot. It's too bad he doesn't live a little closer because I'm always jumping in the truck and going and seeing him, and if we need any repairs done on the saddles.
Yeah.
We probably should buy him a house in Beaver County.
There
that
you
way
go.
he can come down and live for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Or just a really nice leather shop with a bed in the back.
Yeah. That's what we should do. Ryder's got a pretty nice leather shop, but we'll have to talk Ryder into it.
All y'all ride G-Bars, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you ever tried anything else?
I have. I rode a Vision at the NFR last year in Arlington.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got my cantle on my old saddle broke, and so I was just in a pinch, and Mitch Pollock had one.
Yeah.
And I grabbed it, and I rode it in Burley and Guyman, and I won like $15,000 in a week. So I was like, I think I'm going to ride this forever. And then I kind of started missing home. I had to go back to a G-Bar G.
Missing home.
That's a good way to say it.
But you did pretty good at the finals too, huh?
Yeah, it went really good. I don't know. That saddle felt great. I don't know. Like I said, I started missing home. Just got a little bit homesick. So I had to go try it back. I actually got back into the saddle I'm riding now is the one I rode in high school. So I went back to what I learned how to ride in, and I actually didn't get back in that saddle till July.
Yeah.
And that's when I started riding a little bit better, winning something this year.
Because you said high school, I don't mean to keep going back to Ryder. Didn't he ride his high school saddle like for a stupid long time? Like, wasn't it like stupid small?
It was a 16, but it measured a 15 3/4. It was small, and he rode it until 2000. Well, he won the world in it in 17, and then 18 he got into what he's riding now,
which is a
quarter, 16 and a quarter.
That's not doesn't seem like maybe that much of it.
It's
half
not,
an inch is a lot.
Bronc riding's a game of inches. It really does. You wouldn't believe it. A quarter inch is.
Half inch is a lot. I just thought it was a little more than that. But what did he? How was that?
When he switched?
Yeah.
I can't even remember the reason why he did switch.
I didn't even know. I thought he was in the same saddle. To be honest with you, I didn't even know he switched.
Well, he was good. I remember we were in Moab, Utah, and my dad was there, and he got on, and the horse flipped over on my dad and hurt him pretty bad, hurt his back and his hips, and so he went home, Ryder wasn't winning nothing, riding very good. So right before we left, my dad took Ryder's saddle and give him the one that he was riding.
Nice.
And then Ryder's been riding that since that day. He didn't win Faith, that bronc match, but he rode really good. I remember he got on that little paint horse.
I was there. That was
Right
awesome.
not?
Afraid Not, yep.
Yeah.
Kind of give him the iron, and he's never looked back.
Yeah. I was like, surely it's not, but I was like, how many little paint horses that are
Yeah,
that,
that's
you
what-
know, of,
I can't believe
Yeah.
I forgot. I've been on that horse like 11 times.
yeah, that's a sweet feeling sucker.
Yeah, it is really nice.
What about you, Statler? Like, you never wanted to ride bulls or anything?
I rode bulls till I started when I was like, I never really like rode, but I'd go to rodeos here and there. And then my freshman year, I broke my collarbone.
Yeah.
And I didn't rodeo again until COVID hit. And
Yeah.
then like June of 2020 is the first rodeo I went to. Let's see, March until June, I was practicing every other day.
You got pretty good pretty quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I started doing the math, like, because by the NFR, so you're talking June 2020,
Yeah.
because by December 2020, you were riding pretty dang good, right?
I got on a lot.
What's a practice session look like for a young Wright brother that's just starting out? Like in those 6 months, like how it's.
Well,
I mean, I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but I mean, like 6 months, and you're spurring the snot out of horses.
Well, when he started out, just like everybody that starts out, they are all gung ho, wanting to get on, and we were bucking Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays, and then my dad, he's always told when we all started out, he has a certain horse he'd like us to be able to spur down before we can go to.
Also, there were no rodeos going on.
Yeah.
there was
Okay,
nothing.
all right, continue.
And so we were all home, and
Yeah.
because it is pretty hard to practice when we're all gone rodeoing,
Yeah.
'Cause- So we were home, and he was getting on every day. But my dad has like a certain horse he wants you to
Yeah.
spur down before he'll let you enter the high school rodeo. I bet we bucked.
How many times did you get on that one horse?
He's-
50?
Oh, not that many.
Yeah, yes.
By now you think 50?
Oh yeah, I bet you for.
Is it
for sure.
Hannah?
Oh, maybe you might not have been on her 50
Oh
times,
yeah,
but
because that one's still
we got
testing me.
you probably remember Mullen Road of
Uh-huh.
was a birch horse, and Tim Bridwell had it. We got that one here,
Yeah.
and he's kind of slowing down and getting a little bit old. But when that was the horse that he had to,
That's about when they're sweet for a
Yep.
beginner guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
I've showed you the videos of that
Right.
one in
Yep.
nationals.
Yeah.
That one was
Yeah, and that was perfect for him. And I don't. We you got to live it, breathe it, eat it, and that's what he was doing. And especially because there was nothing else to do. You couldn't go to the movies. You couldn't go bowling. You could
Right, yeah.
because we just even when we weren't rodeoing, we were rodeoing.
See, we were we kind of backed off a little with practice sessions during that time
Yeah,
because we didn't want
that was right when I had just gotten on my.
You had
first
been on,
horse,
like,
two.
a
I got on
handful.
2, and then COVID hit, and I didn't get back on again until June, like that June.
because we didn't want to have to go to the hospital.
Oh yeah,
We were scared of having, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not that I didn't have confidence in Donnie.
Well, I said
but
it.
like,
I was like, well, can we even go to a hospital for like a broken arm right now? I don't know. I didn't know how
Yeah.
it worked.
that was, but then later as the year progressed, late in
Yeah.
the summer, that fall, he started getting on some. So, yeah.
you still don't want to go to the hospital now.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. You never really want to, I
Yeah.
guess. But if there's ever a time where it's worse, it was 2020.
Yeah, it was.
But, and you guys start off, did all y'all start off in a helmet?
I think I'm the only one that did, wasn't I?
I rode one with a helmet.
Was it? Okay.
I didn't. I wore a 100X helmet and I popped my chin and it felt like my head was gonna fall off. So
See, that's what I liked. I mean, I didn't like practicing with the helmet on. I felt, I
Right.
was like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Well, but I kind of liked it because once I went to the rodeo and I put my cowboy hat on, I felt like I could keep my chin down better because my head was
Uh-huh.
lighter.
Yeah.
But my dad, I don't know. I wore a helmet practice. I won the high school finals in 2012, 2013, and I still had to wear
Really?
a helmet. Yeah, my dad would make me. I'm like, come on, Dad, I'm 2-time national champion. I still gotta wear a helmet.
Yeah, I'm a cowboy.
Yeah.
We're cowboys. Wear cowboy hats.
I remember every time I'd complain about having it on, though, I'd go out and I was dang sure glad I had it on.
Yeah. But something about bronc riding, it's just a little. I mean, obviously bull riding, you have the helmet really for getting jerked down, or a bull has horns. But bronc riding, like the accidents one might have when they're learning. I mean, you know, for some of our listeners out there, you may have seen some of Donnie's buck-offs in the Netflix show, and they were not gentle.
No.
Like, it's just not a bad idea.
No, I really don't think it's. And everybody that says it's not cowboy, well, if you want to be a cowboy, you got to be able to keep walking.
Yeah.
Right.
So put a helmet on until you're. I don't think you ever really fully know what you're doing all the way in the bronc riding, but until you got it figured out, and I don't think it's a bad idea. And if a kid asked me if I think it's a good idea, I would definitely recommend it. But like I said, it's not cowboy for some guys. So
if you're wondering, should I wear a helmet? The answer is yes.
Yes, exactly.
If you're at a point in your bronc riding where it's like, should I put a helmet on for this? The answer is always yes.
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about like just the chemistry you have with a bronc saddle. Just because, I heard somebody say like there comes a point where you need to be a saddle bronc rider as opposed to a bronc saddle rider. And like some people will dissect a little too much what their saddle is and isn't, but then the opposite is true. Some people don't put enough stock into it at all. I mean, like being an NFR guy.
Well, I've actually the whole probably 3/4 of this year I was being a saddle bronc saddle rider. I wasn't, I was worried about my saddle too much, and because you can overdo it with the overthinking do I need to fold this over? Do I need to fold this bind over? Do I need to put this receipt in there? Stupid stuff like that. But you do got to remember that we are bronc riders.
Right.
We're not bronc fighters or bronc saddle riders.
Right.
So I think it's really important to be comfortable in your saddle and know, be familiar with your saddle and things. But I don't think you need to overlook it.
Right.
I mean, not overlook it, but look into it too much.
Yeah,
So
to overthink it.
Yeah, because you got to have fun, and you can't have fun when you're worried about something constantly.
Yeah.
But
what was so when you're learning, like, was everybody just pretty? I feel like there might be somebody that's hard on you, somebody just encouraging you, because you got all these world champions around you, giving you 3 older brothers, and Spencer I'm sure is around, your dad. So, like, what's it like listening to all these guys?
I mean, it was awesome because, like, when I started, I didn't know one single thing about bronc riding. Maybe I knew how to throw my feet for the mark out, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And then some days I'd think I knew what I was talking about, and I'd talk back, and then my dad would get after me. And then I'd remember he knows way more than I do, but just listening to all those guys talk.
my dad's the hardest one on him. You missed that.
Yeah.
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 He's the hardest one.
But he's also the one that gives you the best praise when you do something good,
Right.
It's tough love around there.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
But
and then, like, it's weird to, like, because, like, when I freshman and sophomore year in high school, I played sports. Like, I didn't even want to.
Yeah.
Never even thought about rodeo. And then going when COVID hit to riding bucking horses, and, like, now I'm hearing all the stories going on, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
Got the itch.
I really was starting to think, I'm like, because it's got to be our idea to start riding broncs.
100%.
My dad don't push, like, he don't say, like, he never asked me once, do you want to ride broncs? Or it had to be our idea, and I was starting to wonder. I'm like, maybe Statler's not going to ride broncs.
My dad told me to be a doctor.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
I'm not smart enough to be a doctor.
Well, he was probably thinking, like, then all these practice sessions will have a doctor there. We don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So you came. mean, were all y'all pretty serious about football? Like, I know you were pretty serious about football,
Yeah, I
right?
played
Just
football forever.
watching your social media. Was it the draw for bronc riding? Did you see some similarities like between whistles of like also getting on a bronc?
Like here, like I guess like knowing that from the whistle in a football game, when they snap that football, like you have to be all out
Yeah.
trying to pretty much kill someone.
Right.
And like bronc riding, as soon as you nod your head,
Same thing.
trying to spur the life out of this horse. It's about the same thing.
Right. So like the intensity of the actual bronc ride, but then the camaraderie of going down the road. You know, it's like, because a lot of people throw rocks at rodeo. You know, like they just don't understand why you would get on a bucking horse. But if you think about football, it's the same thing. Like, why would you just hit each other trying to get this leather ball across this, you know, chalk line? At the end of the day, like, neither one of them actually makes sense. But so many people have played sports that they don't question that anymore, you know, and that you got the NFL and you've got college football. And so now all of a sudden just people just accept it. But at the end of the day, they're kind of one and the same. Like, if not football, like you'll get hit a lot more often in football than you would rodeo, you know, because you can have, once you get to a certain point in your bronc riding, like you can go a pretty good while without getting hit in the head sometimes, you know. But anyway, so I feel like because I loved football, you know, a little bitty town, and but that camaraderie that you have with your teammates, it's a very similar, like, deep down feeling to what you have with yourself going down the road rodeoing.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't surprise me that, I mean, obviously, yeah, you got world champions all in your family that ride broncs, but like you're so intense with football and then you switch over because there's a lot of similarities, I feel like.
Friday night playing football, Saturday morning riding bucking horse at high school rodeo.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was ready for the football to be over.
Yeah.
I was tired of getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and driving to rodeo.
Yeah.
I think the football also is in high school, you know, it teaches you to work hard and you're committed to something. That really does roll over into your bronc ride. You know, it teaches you, you know, how to work hard, to be dependent on, you know, when people depend on you, you need to show up and show out. And I think sports are really, I never played football or anything, but that was only because I was 90 pounds until I graduated pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. And same thing, like what you were saying, it is the same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing, different world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like do y'all all rodeo the same? Like as far as like how you pick rodeos, or, you know, when you map out trips, or is there one of you guys that is it all similar to Cody, or do you guys kind of all do your own?
We all do the same thing because my dad enters us, and we get the email.
He
we
still
get in the truck
does?
and go. He still does. Yeah,
That's awesome.
We don't even. I mean, I appreciate my dad, and everybody. I hope everybody knows I appreciate him and things, but I don't think we really do know how good we got it, because we don't have to wake up every morning, make sure we're calling Procom, getting the center, and, you know, mapping out that trip.
Yeah.
That 2-month trip we were out and
know
where to go and when you need to be there, and we're pretty spoiled.
I can't remember what rodeo it was. I want to say Gaiman, but I could just be completely making that up. But somebody was telling me that they saw you guys after the rodeo, and it might have even been back when, you know, Jesse and y'all's uncles were going a little more, but like Cody had y'all out doing like push-ups all in the parking lot.
That was probably Jake and Jesse and my dad and Alex.
Okay.
Because I do remember them all working out hard, and they were even going to the dang, getting in the tan bed. And you look good. You feel good. You feel good. You ride good. You ride good. They pay good.
Bingo. Yeah. And that's it. And that's the end of the podcast, folks. Yeah. So is physical fitness and working out something that each of you guys like prioritize?
A little bit more now than before. We kind of just, push-ups and jump roping and, that kind of stuff. But I've never really taken the working out too serious. But we got on that Doug Champion.
Yeah.
His little fitness program deal. So we all just started that. And, well, you ain't started it yet. But
I just got done with football. I'm tired of working out.
yeah, but we all are starting to do something because, I was thinking when we were doing it the other day, we were driving down here. I was thinking, Stetson and Ryder are just, dang near unbeatable.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they don't put any work. They put work into it, obviously, but could you imagine?
Not in the gym.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens with this little bit of extra work getting put into it, because bronc riding's not all about bronc riding. You need to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to have a long career,
right?
And you gotta. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think the younger you are, you probably don't think you need to work out as much, but the older you get, you kind of start feeling it. Even when you're at 26, you're still young, but I don't feel 26.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta start taking care of yourself.
Well, it's not the years, it's the miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to get all romantic about Chris Ledoux, but that's the truth.
It is.
Like a 26-year-old who's been rodeoing since he was 16 is a little different than a 26-year-old who graduated college and has been an accountant for 3 years. That's just a different body. I thought I'd remembered, maybe it was Jacobs or something, saying that like you were one of the only ones at the time who was like monitoring your quote unquote fighting weight.
I do. I have always done that because Jacobs told you that. I wonder how he knew that.
That joker pays attention.
Yeah, well,
because he was doing it. It was right around 15 when he won the world.
So that was my first. Well, 14 was my rookie year.
It might have been the year after that. It was somewhere in 15 or 16.
Well, I think I've always liked to keep my weight around 145 or right there somewhere, because you gain 5 pounds, that's going to tighten stuff up, your binds or something,
Right.
So I like to stay the same weight.
Right.
And then that's another thing, working out, you got to be careful with that, because you can work out and get big, or you can get cut, or you can lose. You got to be careful with what you do. You got to know what you're doing as far as working out goes. I'm learning all this recently because I've been doing. I kind of have to watch what I eat, because if I work out too hard, I'll gain weight, and
right.
I don't want to. I don't know. It's all. I've always watched my weight.
Yeah,
and you have to stay this. You don't have to stay the same, but if you don't want to be lifting that lid up on your saddle every time and letting them out a half a hole, or adjusting something every time, you got to try to stay the fighting weight.
Right. Yeah, I can see it 100%. I mean, especially this time of year, like just not a lot going on, besides this big rodeo we're at right now. And then all of a sudden, March is when really, you got Denver and you got, Odessa and some stuff in January and February, but like mid-February, you start going to some rodeos, and you got a 2-month period in there where if you're not careful, you go to family outings, you go to some holiday stuff, and you might pack on 11 to 12 pounds if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, you really can. It's easy, and it really is easy to do, because, well, for me it would be. I know I could put. I mean, I'm not gonna get fat.
Right.
I dang sure
it could affect you.
Yes, it could, and I don't know. I'm really actually impressed that old Jacob's paying attention to me there.
Well, that was the year. That's when he won the world.
Yeah,
and I just happened to be paying close attention to it at the time. It was, and he was like stupid in shape.
Yeah,
stupid.
I know. I remember. Can't remember where we were. I walk around the truck, and Jacobs is getting out of the van, and he turned around. He didn't have a shirt on. I was like, "Holy, what the?" Because you would not ever guess it. Like looking at him,
right?
Yeah. He turned around. I'm not kidding. And then I seen, on Instagram, he posted a picture. I didn't even know he had tattoos or anything.
Oh, that article that Vegas did about him with the tattoos.
Yeah, see,
That's not much body fat.
Oh, I don't think he has any.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't have much right now, and he had way less in 15.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
see, Jacobs, I always like the way he rodeos. The way he's, he'll have fun, go out, at night with his buddies. But I've always liked watching what Jacobs does, and he's a winner. There's a reason he's got one of them gold things on his waist.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that ain't no lie. He's a student of the game, and he takes a lot from, he's got some people that he's looked up to, and there's some guys that I think he's taken a lot from, but this is just an observation, but I would say that most of like the fundamentals that he has, and like if he had to write it down on paper, it wouldn't match up to like someone else. All the wording would be a little different because he has constructed, like, he's just such a student of the game that he's like improving himself so much. It's just like he'll learn something every bronc ride, it seems like. But he's also very, very intelligent. For me personally, it's just more like I want to find somebody that I like, and then I just try to emulate that as much as I can, So it's more like, and for bronc riding, it was him. We were college roommates, and so that's where that comes from. But anyway, it's neat to watch like somebody that's that close of a student to the game. So,
and I think that is why he's so good. He's open-minded, and because, like you said, he learns something every bronc ride, and that's probably that not just his bronc rides. He probably watches
100%.
And that's
when somebody like with the last name of Wright says something like I'm sure you did nonchalantly about fighting weight, he probably. He just listens to that, Yeah, like it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And he's, like you said, the student thing, that is, once you quit being a student and you think you got it all figured out, you're probably going to put it on cruise control and never get any better.
Yep.
You gotta be open-minded, always be willing to learn.
Yeah. It seems like, talking about like physical fitness and all that, like, I mean, watching your weight, whatever, but like there's a few exceptions to the rule out there. Like, for instance, JB with bull riding, like he's pretty unique, I would think,
Very unique.
And there's bronc riders like that like, I don't know much about Wade, and what he does. I don't know anything about what he does after, like, but it seems as though like Wade is somebody, and there's, I'm sure you guys know a lot more of them, that they just got it figured out mentally. And then aside from that, nobody is going to tell them that they're not about to ride this bronc.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And like you said, aside from the physical, you have to be mentally tough too.
Right.
And you're just saying JB and Wade. Wade is the JB of the bronc riding world.
Yeah.
Like he just got that. You don't know what it is, but it's confidence.
Yeah,
you ain't like.
It's hard to put your finger on it.
Yeah, the confidence thing is huge, and
it's a tough line to my old man. Like I remember him. He was at a bronc school, and I was just a kid listening, and he was just like, "You got to walk a fine line because you're your own coach, you're your own cheerleader, you're your own trainer, everything." And so, like, you don't have all these people telling you how good you are where you can just sit back and be humble about it. Like, you've literally got to, like, be your own confidence builder. But then also, you can't go too far. Yeah. Otherwise, you ain't going to have no friends. You have no family. Like, nobody's going to want to be around you.
Serious. That's probably actually one of my...
You'll be a Dale Brisby.
Yeah. That's what I like to wake up in the morning, like Gary LeFew tells you, like, look at yourself, say I'm the hot man.
Right.
That's hard. That's probably my biggest downfall is I'm trying to tell myself. I can't. It's hard for me to look in the mirror and be like, you're a hot man.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to do that. And them guys, I feel like I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, but they have no problem with being able to wake up and look and be like.
It's probably a DNA thing too.
Yeah.
It's like some people just naturally are a little bit more inclined to like have that confidence.
Stetson, my brother, he seriously is. He's got it figured out there.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit bull crap. I don't know why he got all that confidence, and I'm over here. No, I'm confident. I am. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, you need to work at it every day because you don't have anybody there telling you you're a what's that Jamaican bobsled movie.
Oh yeah,
I'm a bad mother, and I don't take no from nobody.
yeah. So Stetson just had it naturally, a little bit more naturally, maybe.
I think a little bit more naturally. I think Stetson's had to work at it too, just like
right.
But I don't know. It'd be pretty easy when you ride that dang good in 2 events and just kick ass everywhere you go. It's got to be a little bit easier. Be confident.
Yeah. 5 years from now, you see him in 2 events.
Yes, I think.
Dang.
Especially as the past couple of days, it's been going too hot in the bull riding, but he normally, looks
outstanding
and lands on his feet after the whistle, and
right.
So I think if he, as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, I think he's gonna have a 5 years. I still see him riding. Yeah, he's got records to break, and he can't beat him if he don't ride him 5 more years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just get nervous about him going, spending too much time in the PBR, get him away from his bronc riding.
I know I think he really would like to go over, the PBR and see what it's all about. But his goal has always been to be an all-around world champ and a bronc riding world champ, along with the bull riding. And but you ain't gonna win an all-around world title over there at the PBR.
Right.
So, and I think he's got his priorities pretty straight. So hopefully we'll see.
And that horse he got on last night, like, bucked.
Yeah, it really did.
What was it? I didn't see the screen. I don't
Oh
remember.
my gosh.
I didn't. I was not at the rodeo last night. I don't know why.
He got on last night?
Where are we? Oh my gosh, what was it? He's been on it before.
It was the
Diamond Fever.
Yeah.
Diamond Fever.
It was the semi-pin, right? Semi-eliminators?
Yeah. Or was it the?
And then tonight's
no, it was the semis because Womanizer was out and all them. Tonight's the TV pin, right?
Right.
Is it the 5th round?
Yeah,
Yeah.
tonight's number 5.
Jeez, halfway.
Yeah.
What's he
Almost
got tonight? Do you know what him and Ryder have? Oh, yeah, you got to look it up.
I'm gonna look. I'm curious. I know he's got whatever they got is good because he did his little dance that he does when he,
when he got
see
the
it.
draw?
Yeah. So whatever he's got is good, and I know Ryder's got a good one. I'm having a complete brain fart on all these horses right now.
Well, they only get on 10 of them, and then you got 2 brothers, so that's 20 horses you got to
And then
go
Spencer's
through.
here.
And then Spencer.
Yeah.
That's hard to remember.
Do y'all what's y'all's buddy list look like? Do y'all enter together pretty much everywhere?
Yeah, we really don't know yet who's going to enter with who because Stetson can only travel with one other guy because of that
Cross event buddy rule.
And then we got Jesse, Spencer, Statler, Ryder. We don't. I know me and him are going together this year. And
Nice.
That's about all I can tell you. And then
That'll be
Coburn,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coburn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ain't decided yet who's going in what truck, but we all pretty much rodeo together.
Yeah. 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 In-laws and cousins and
Yeah.
what's your goal this year? 2022. You got anything specific or you just gonna jump in and go?
Yeah, I want to be the rookie of the year for sure.
Yep.
And Rusty's gonna say I'll probably take second, but I'm gonna let him take back seat this year. I'm back. I want to make it here.
Who else is going for rookie of the year?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, gotcha.
I don't know. He's trying
Doesn't
to
matter.
not say it. He wants to win gold buckle.
Yeah.
That's his. I don't think it's too far fetched.
Ever since Ryder won the world when he was 19.
Yeah.
He's the youngest world champion bronc riding, right?
Yeah.
I want to tie that.
Yeah.
I know
It was Taos before that,
Mhm.
and then Ryder did it.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, that was crazy. Those first 4 rounds that year.
Seriously, it was.
That was crazy.
I didn't think we'd ever see it again. And then Arlington last year goes out and wins 5 rounds again. It's like, go home.
And then the 5th round, bless his heart, it was spring planning, wasn't it?
Killer B. You got
No,
one that he
that
missed
was
it.
a eliminator. The TV pin. It was spring planning. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, remember that picture? The horse got his chin back, and remember that picture? It was the scariest looking picture ever.
Oh, when Ryder looks like possessed in the.
Yeah, That horse is whipping his chin back so hard. All the skin on his face is like tight on his. So it looked like you could see his skull. It was the weirdest picture ever.
Golly. If we get him on this week, I want to ask him about that. I've heard that horse is really hard to mark out. Like, that's the thing about that horse.
There's nothing easy about that horse. Leaves there hard, hard to mark out, and then lets you feel like you're gonna just eat her up, and then starts circling right, and starts dropping out of the sky.
Never mind.
There's nothing easy about that horse.
Yeah.
I've only been on her once. Yeah, once. And I remember when the whistle blew, I was like, oh.
Did you get your mark out?
I did.
Yeah.
She squatted, she kind of squats sometimes. Yeah. She squatted down and gave me, I nodded, and she's, a little hesitation. She gave me time to really get them in there so I could. I did get her marked out, but it wasn't I didn't leave them there any longer than they had to be there because I didn't want getting that power right away.
Right.
Because when you mark her out for 2, you're probably going to be hurting your neck.
Yeah, some of them, they're hard to mark out for 2.
Yes.
Like, it's like if you hold them for 2, you're bucked off.
Yeah. And if you do hold them for 2 and don't get bucked off, you're going to have a sore neck. That's for sure. Yeah. That's a Happy Valley of Olds. I marked that horse out for 2 jumps in Denver.
Yeah.
And as soon as after that second jump, I'm like, why did you just do that?
Right.
My head was,
1 is enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's in January too. I don't know. The few times I was in Denver, I'd rather get on a hopper in Denver. Like, it's cold, it's Denver, it's mid-January. Let's just have fun. Yeah. I don't know that I want an E-pin horse in Denver, but I don't know.
No, you don't.
Yeah, not happy about.
I want to start the year off nice and with a nice little fluffy hopper.
There you go. Yeah, fluffy. Anyway, I hate to use the word fluffy, but if I'm gonna use it, I want to use it in January. Yeah. Have you been to how many pro rodeos you been to this year yet?
I went to the bronc match in Coors Gold, but I've been drawn out of everything else. I got a call back for Brawley, but I had a football game, so
right.
I ain't got into nothing yet. I entered Houston, but we don't know about that one yet.
I got drawn out of Billings.
Yeah.
It'd be Houston, though.
That's not till March.
Right. Like, but, I mean, you don't have any qualifications to get in there, huh? It'd be hard to get into Houston, right?
Yeah. You ain't gonna get in, not enter.
Oh, no. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. That's what...
I enter it every year. Yeah.
Houston?
I may not even have a card that year. Yep, I'm entering it.
Still entering.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I forget Houston's a PRCA rodeo now. But the way they do that, you don't enter it. You don't call Procom to enter Houston. You enter it on...
Yeah, you got to like email in something, don't you?
Yeah, it's different.
Kind of weird.
That's one rodeo I enter a year. The rest my dad does.
The thing about Houston, though, is like, if they don't have anybody that night, they're calling you. Or like if somebody comes up, and there's no telling who they'll call because they need to fill that spot, and they're not going to call you if you didn't enter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So, like, that's why you would have a pretty good shot. Like, if you're ready, especially if your brothers are there, and then, like, you got your saddle and everything. Yeah.
Hopefully
he'll probably run from Utah to Texas if they give him that call.
Well, and that's when Goliad was going on. I think Ryder went to Houston too, didn't he? After Goliad that year in 16?
I don't think he got in. Or yes, he did. He got in. Ooh, shoot, I can't remember.
But
I do. Yeah, he was down.
There's some
there.
of those Texas rodeos that you can maybe be that y'all might be. You know, Mercedes, Goliad. There's a couple other ones. Maybe Jordanton or something like that. Anyway, so maybe you'll be down there anyway. Yeah,
maybe we'll be. That's what's fun when like Ryder started rodeoing or Stetson started. We went to a lot of rodeos that we don't normally go to.
Nice.
So you get in, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. Well, he'll be getting in something here shortly. Surely. Right. Unless everybody keeps entering.
Well, it just takes a little bit. Like how long before those qualifications catch up? Before they kind of reset? You know, does it take like a month of winning?
Oh, you mean as far as...
Like if he were to win, 3, 4, 5, 6 checks, like before those qualifications start building up. I don't know when they...
I don't. Seems like it's if you got to do some pretty good winning, you know, to really get them. But yeah, probably a month of just winning checks. I think, and they have the rookies. Well, once he gets he's just on his permit, but once he gets his rookie card, they take so many rookies at certain rodeos, so you'll have a better chance of getting in. I don't know if you'll get in for sure, but so he's just got to fill that permit, get his card, and then I think he's going to get in some stuff.
I bet y'all circuit finals, it's a lot of pissed off guys. Just like, well, we know 7 spots are going to have the last name Wright next to them, so
it really is. The circuit finals is my favorite. It's like you said, there's seven of us, and then Alan Bohr was hurt this year, so he wasn't there. When Coburn was there, and Mitch Pollock,
8.
And
when is y'all circuit? What circuit is it?
Wilderness Circuit.
Wilderness.
Yeah.
When is it?
It was the first weekend in November is when it is.
Oh, nice. So you get to kind of go there before the NFR.
Yeah,
Texas is in January.
It is in January?
Yeah.
It used to be in January, but they moved it from Ogden to Heber City, and then to November. And it really is nice because it's a little knock the webs off before you come down here. And
otherwise, all you got is Brawley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, where do y'all stay when you come out here?
Tropicana usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. The past couple of years, Tropicana's been putting us up there, and we used to stay over at the D. Yeah. And then now we're at the Tropicana, and
I jump boats. I stole Stetson's room here. It's Treasure Island.
Yeah, so he's right here close.
Oh yeah, because he got that room for the bull run.
Yeah.
Do they give him? So bronc riders stay at the Harris. Does he get a room at both Treasure Island and the Harris since he got in both events?
He did this year. They called him and made him choose which one he wanted, and so he said the bronc riding one, the Harris, and then he got a call. Was it the day of the first round?
I think so.
He got a call. He's like, "Are you going to check in your room, or are you going to take the fine?" He's like, "I thought you said I didn't have 2 rooms." But yeah,
So that's what you meant.
You
stole that room.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, you're living large. Freshman year, rookie year, and you got you got your own room, different hotel than the rest of the family. Man, just living the dream.
Yeah. Seriously, I told him the other day when I was 18, not to say I had a hard life, but I had to. My mom and dad were like this the whole time. We was down here in Vegas, and he's out here
just got his own hotel room in a different hotel.
Yeah.
Golly, that's funny. Yeah. Y'all got another little brother, don't you?
Nope. We got a little sister.
Sister. That's
what
it is.
Yeah. Lily Jo, she's 12. She thinks she's 20.
She gonna be a bronc rider too?
Absolutely not.
Did y'all never rode none of y'all ever rode mini broncs?
I don't think any of us ever got on a
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. It really is hard to watch. I'm not either. It's hard to watch. I mean, I think it's to each his own, but I'm not a fan of that either. Mm-hmm. I think a steer is just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not afraid of a steer, but for some reason we were talking about it last night. We went to dinner, but many humans don't equal many horses. No. Those two things just don't. You would think on paper, oh well, he's the quarter of a size of a horse. This person is a quarter of size. It just doesn't equal the same.
No, it don't. And then they're mean.
They're mean.
They're little. They got little man syndrome, and they'll try to kill you.
100%.
I mean, I'm not saying there ain't big horses that are mean, but them little things got a chip on their shoulder for some reason, and they're terrifying.
Yeah, and it's funny to say, but it's true.
Yeah.
They're just legitimately mean.
They don't look like fun at all. I've never ever watched one of them mini bronc rides and thought, well, that looked like fun. Never.
Yeah. No, I'm not a huge. Yeah. It's just those kids just don't have fight yet.
Yeah.
They don't have the fight. I mean, occasionally you'll get one that might, but he's an exception to the rule.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't be a whole event because one kid can do it, because the other 9 can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, whatever. I just I didn't know. But man, what's y'all's routine out here? Do y'all have one as far as when you guys are entering or is it just kind of 100 miles an hour? You treat it just like every other rodeo?
Well, we try to treat it like every other rodeo, but it's a little different down here. It's a lot more hustle. You know,
Right.
you got to get up and go do stuff. Seems like every day, but with the COVID stuff, we are like our signing schedules and stuff is pretty much nothing. We've got to just do 1 or 2 this year. We're usually every single day over at the convention center, and so it's, on a normal year, you know, it's pretty busy down here, and but it's good because you don't sit around all day in the room overthinking, you know, the rodeo that night.
Yep.
But also, it's kind of nice to sit down and relax down here. Like Ryder, I don't think he's got much going on today, does he?
No, I don't think Ryder ever does anything.
But he don't have to worry about overthinking it, like you were talking about earlier. He's got ice running through his veins, so it doesn't really bother him whether he signs autographs or sits in the room.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy and easy fun down here.
I was going to the. Sorry, were you gonna ask something?
No.
I've been talking this whole time.
It's all good. I'm
got
just
any
taking
questions?
it on it. No, just keep going.
He's our sound guy. Hit a sound for us. Give us a sound. We haven't got to use the board much. No, I was pulling up last night to do the pre-show, and it was like maybe it was Cody D. We saw walking, and it was pretty close to the. And I thought, well, what's he been to, like 14 NFRs or something like that?
I think it is 14.
Yeah, 14.
I think that's what they said. Yeah.
And I was like, he probably has a pretty good idea of how much time he has. And he's been to this rodeo more than some guys have been to rodeos. But and then I just got to thinking about the timing when you get to the Thompson Mack. Like, you probably don't want to sit in that locker room for too long. But then again, you dang sure don't want to be late either.
No.
You know,
I've rode here 5 times and I still don't know what time to get there. I don't know what time. Like, you get there too early, like you said. Then you get ready and then you sit there and you can't. When you're sitting in the locker room, you can't not think about what you're there for.
right.
But then you don't want to not think about. You don't want to just dink off the whole time.
Right.
It's, I don't know. I guess
Tough.
you never get it figured out, and if you do, you probably ought to.
I don't really know how Stetson is down there, but I feel like he dinks off all the time. I don't know how he does it.
he Stetson he's good at having fun.
How many did your dad go to?
14.
14.
Yeah, 2003 to 2014, and then he broke his shoulder in 14, so he missed 15. Then he went to 16, and that was his last one, 16.
How many times did he win the world?
Twice.
Yeah. When was the last time he got on one?
2 years ago in Harriman, Utah. Wasn't it 2 years? Yeah, not last year, year before.
Is he done?
I went with him there.
He won't say.
He won't say?
No, you ask him. He just looks at you and raises his eyebrows and walks. I was
He's trying to
cool.
scare
Thanks for the answer.
Yeah. I'm only your son.
Yeah, I really do think though that if he wanted to come back, he'd still kick all our asses.
Yeah.
He still. I know he couldn't. I wish he would, but
How old is he?
44.
Yeah.
44.
Yes.
He was born in 77, so whatever that is.
How old was Billy E when he went to his last one? Might have been just like
44, wasn't he?
44 or 45. I think.
I always hear 45.
45,
but,
yeah.
But I could hear wrong.
That was 2009. Was his last NF? No, he was there. Was 9 his last NFR? Do you remember?
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird to think that. I don't feel like he's been not riding for that long.
I know.
Yeah. Man. That would be neat to see. But
My dad?
yeah.
Yeah, I would. Especially, with all of us, me and my brothers, like this year, if he did rodeo and we all 4 made the finals and then he did, I don't think that'd ever be done again, ever.
Yeah.
So that would be cool, but.
You've made the finals with him before, haven't you?
Yeah, me and Ryder did in 16 with him.
Yeah, I thought.
And then Jake or Jesse was there too, right?
Spence, or
one of them.
16.
I don't think in
Spencer
2016.
wasn't there. Jake was there.
Jake was there.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I felt like it was like a son-brother
Yep.
little deal going on.
Yeah,
I could be
me
wrong.
and Ryder, and then my dad and Jake Coburn.
I think that's it. I don't think
Jesse went that year because
Yeah.
I can't remember. They all run together a little bit.
They run together even for you guys.
Yeah.
And it's your family.
Yeah.
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 Oh man. Have you guys tried out have you been over here the last year or two for the after party, the Mirage?
I was telling Donnie on the way up here, I haven't been over here in the morning. When we come get the Mirage coats, that's the only time I've been here, and
Yeah.
it don't look the same. When
Yeah.
we were walking up here, I didn't even know where I was. But I never have been over here. It looks like it'd be fun. I see Snapchats and Instagram stories all the time over here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good time. Man, what else? You got any questions, Donnie? Yeah, you got to have some questions.
Yeah.
Some bronc riding questions.
I don't know.
I'm going to give you the floor.
This is
You can be selfish.
yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just a really big fan. I mean,
Yeah, when he came here, so like he wanted to ride broncs from the beginning, and kind of like you said, I wanted it to be their idea. But like with bronc riding, like I really want it to be your idea.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll put you on a dink bull, but I don't want to put you on a horse unless you know. Anyway, so like it was like a year, and he had brought up you guys and your career, and it was like the 5th, 6th time he brought it up, and I was like, all right, I don't think he's gonna give it up.
I brought it up a lot. Like I got on bulls just because like I didn't want to.
Because everybody wants to be a bull rider.
Well, no. I mean, I got on bulls just to show like, yeah, hey, I'll do it. Like but like I was like, hey, like you think I can get on one of them saddle ponies over there? You think?
I'd like to try me some of
That's
that.
what he kept saying. He's like, you don't want no part of this, do we? And I was like, I think I would like to try some of that bronc
Have you
ride.
seen that
I don't know.
that scene from that movie?
Yeah.
You don't want no part of this, do we?
I think I kind of do. Turns all your bad feelings into good feelings.
I feel like
Do you have
a
any? Do you
dingus.
have any like? I mean, like, you got to give a bronc rider like just core fundamentals. You got one quick deal.
Yeah.
Guy starting out. What should he focus on?
Staying back, keeping your shoulders behind your hips, lifting on your bronc crane, obviously, because you got all the fancy chaps and saddles and hats, but if you don't lift on that little string in front of you, you ain't gonna stay in saddle. So I think that's the most important part is that keeping your shoulders back, staying under your rein, and the way we lift, we like get our elbow out. Other people teach it different. They tell them get your elbow in but the way we do is get the elbow out. And so if I just had to quick say it, stay back, stay square, lift on your rein, keep your chin down, and just throw your feet. And if you're lifting on your rein, your feet are probably going to move just
Significantly
on their own.
faster.
Yeah. And you won't even have to think about it. Like, really, the only thing I think about now when I get on is lifting, because my feet, I've done it. It's kind of just a reaction now. My feet are, but even if it is a reaction, if you ain't lifting on the rein, your feet ain't gonna be able to move. You got to stay back, lift on your rein, turn your toes out, and have fun. You got to have fun. If you ain't having fun, you probably ain't gonna do worth it.
A kid asked me the other day. I told him this. I was like, I'm probably not the right guy to answer this question for you because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. He's like, how important is like a spur board and stuff to a guy that's never been on one? And I was like, to me, like,
Hey, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
to me, like, I mean, it's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna hurt you, but I don't know how much it's actually gonna help you because you don't even really know.
You got to have the spur board. I think when you're on that, you have to have an idea of who you want to look like, kind of like, or what you want to look like. Maybe not who, but what you want to look like. And that's a good question. I think the spur board it ain't gonna hurt you like you said, but you need to have some kind of an idea.
I feel like it could hurt you if you're doing
Things wrong.
Things wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have to have an idea what you're wanting to look like or do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can practice. You can create bad habits also.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not
you're
think
right.
that you're hurting yourself. Like you get on the bucking machine and you get on it for 15 minutes straight, you're going to start getting your elbow in, rocking in. You're going to start doing something.
Yep.
And even though you're trying to make yourself better, you're actually hurting yourself, creating bad habits. Yep. And
I think when I was riding the buck machine. I get on it 3 times.
Yeah, and or once or twice.
Yeah.
What else do y'all do outside of getting on a bronc?
I mean, before I like started getting on bucking horses, I'd get on a saddle horse. We'd lope them around.
Yeah.
I think that's harder riding a bucking horse. I'm not even joking.
It definitely is. If you can spur a running horse, you can spur a bucking horse.
Yeah.
And I mean, that sounds dumb, but really you can't.
Yeah.
And
They don't help you.
And no, they don't help you. It's tiring.
Yeah, and you don't feel like you're lifting. I feel like you think you're lifting, but you don't really know if you are because like there's no.
It feels like ass.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
But really, that is a good thing, and that also, I think that's great for being familiar with your saddle. You know how when you go to the rodeo and they got guys, they sit down on their saddle on the ground and kick around, and they look like they're part of that saddle, and then you go to a high school rodeo, a kid's just starting out and he sits in his saddle and it's kind of like looks awkward. Right. I think that riding a saddle horse around makes you part of your bronc saddle, like kick around and be familiar with it. Because I remember when Stetson and Statler started, I'd watch him. My dad would be like, "How's your length feel? Put your feet in your stirrups," and it looks so awkward. Like just like you don't know, they didn't know what they're doing, and now just from practice and stuff, they sit down in their saddle and it just looks like.
Like I remember when I first was setting my saddle, Rusty was there. He was trying to tell me, I think it was to turn my toes out and like bring my legs together. I could not figure that out for the life of me.
I was just wanting him to reach for his stirrups, like hit the bottom and then push your toes down so I could see how much it lifted his butt out the back of the saddle. Oh, I was like, I don't know why you're not understanding this.
Is your last name not right?
That's something that like I haven't been around guys that have been going a long time and they're trying to communicate with me and they're like, well, how does it feel? And I'm like, well, I don't really know because I don't know what it's supposed to feel like.
To be honest with you, I was just switching my saddle the other day.
Not your saddle, your stirrup leathers.
My stirrup leathers. I still don't know what it should feel like.
Yeah.
I asked him, how's it feel? He's like, feels good. I'm like, is it?
Well, it looks like crap.
What do you think? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, how do you not know what you want? You find what you like.
You were 87 last weekend.
Yeah.
How do you not know?
That's the toughest thing about riding or trying to help with the bronc riding is you can't tell somebody how something feels.
Yeah.
You can try, but you ain't gonna.
Yeah.
Like when I sit down in my bronc saddle, I know how much pressure I want, but I can't. Like you walk up to you like you need this much pressure. It don't work like that. It's so hard.
I felt so bad for I didn't feel bad for it. It was my fault, but like I bucked off horses for a long time, and it's just like getting on the spur board, like sitting in my saddle was uncomfortable. And my old man, he would just like tell me this stuff, but like, I mean, he couldn't sit in the saddle for me, And so like, I just bucked off for a long time. And then finally we were coming back from Altus and Jacobs was like, man, I think you need to let your stuff out. Like, I think it's just too tight. And anyway, and then that was the beginning of me starting to progress as a bronc rider. And, but yeah, just like Jacobs couldn't sit in it for me either,
You can't tell somebody how they want it. Or I can't tell you want your bronc saddle to feel like this.
Yeah.
I can tell you how you want it to feel, but you got to know, like, and like what you just said, when in doubt, let it out.
Yeah.
Right.
You ain't going to be able to ride. If your stirrups are short and you're getting run out the back, you can lift really hard, but it's going to
That's the one thing. It's like, it can't be too tight.
No.
That's the one thing that like, yeah.
And I have, that was another thing this year. I had my stuff so short. We just went to Ogden the other day to a RMPRA, like an amateur rodeo. And right before I left, I had my dad sit in my saddle and I asked what he thought. And he just sat down, didn't say nothing, just starts letting my stuff out. He's like, you're so short. He let my saddle out like 3 holes on the right stirrup. Like I can't. A lot. I remember I was thinking, what are you doing? But I went and got on with it that night, and it felt like the best it has all year.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I not?
It's crazy, like, like, I remember being in New Braunfels and Sam Spreadborough was like, man, you are bicycling. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Just like, you're so loose.
Yeah.
It's just like, and so like, then you go through like, okay, I'm going to tighten it up a little. I'm going to tighten it up a little. And then all of a sudden, 3 months later, it's like, you're popping out of the swells the first jump, and
Yeah.
then so you go back to bicycling. You know, it's just this vicious
Yeah.
cycle. It's a circle.
It goes round and round. It never ends.
Yeah.
What about the fight? What about like when you nod, like, because you guys go, like you can tell the intensity, especially like being in the NFR. They got the cameras on you. My old man used to talk about Wes Stevenson, you know, and like he just looks like a completely different person when he nods his face.
Yeah. My dad told me I need to calm down when I nod.
Really?
Like, and Ryder, he leans back in there, and you're like, is he awake? He's a calm man. Like I lean back when I'm lifting my rein. You can see I'm way too jacked up. I need to calm down. I think that there is a fine line. You can try too hard. And I think
Right.
when you nod and you're trying too hard, because you can't be stiff. You got to be
Right.
loose and cool in there. You don't like lay back and just. If you're trying too hard, you're gonna just go stiff as a board, and
Right.
that ain't gonna go good at all.
Yeah.
But I also think you need to be awake in there. Like Ryder does not look like he is. But that fight that you're talking about is you want to be aggressive. You want to fight, but you don't want to try too hard. You got to
Yeah.
have fun, like loose and cool. Let the good times roll, you know.
Yeah.
But don't let them roll too
Yeah.
much. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I've had to figure out throughout, you know, because I'm typically like, you know, I like to have a good time and I've got a lot of energy, but I'm typically like a mellow, you know, like I've never been in an actual fight, you know, like I'm not like just by nature, I'm not super aggressive, you know, and so I've had to, like I will ride better when I can turn up the intensity
Yeah.
personally. What about you, Statler?
I ride better when I'm like, if you can tell that I'm super nervous, that's when I do the best. Is because I don't understand what it is, but
Like turn
Yeah.
the intensity up. Like,
I don't. So like when I went to Haley, Idaho this year, I drew Ryder got on her in Napa.
Go Toodles.
Oh,
Right.
Toodles, yeah. And I thought I was going to an amateur rodeo, and I drew this horse, and I was terrified. And then, like, the stock contractor walked up to me, and he told me I need to breathe. I was like, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
I was so nervous, but like Rusty says, I didn't really start lifting in the buck and shoots on my bronc rein until I went to Guthrie this year.
Yeah.
That's like the first time you can really see me like shaking when I'm.
But you don't want to lift too hard. Like that's what I'm talking. You know how some people grab hold of their swells, you know, nod. And everybody has their little shoot routine
Yep.
thing. I don't like when they grab their swells because I can't see how nervous they are. You know what I'm saying? You lift up on your bronc rein, you can see if that what he's talking about is shaking that.
Yeah. I can't grab my swells. I don't know. Like,
I can't either because I feel like I won't let go.
100%.
Yeah, I've never
Especially
seen
if I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that like I've had a hard time like communicating with anybody that I've taught. You know, it's like where to hold your free arm, just because like you get to a spot where it's like you got to keep your body square, and it's important. Your free arm is important. I'll never forget like one of the first times I was at Houston, like in person, watching Will Lowe. And I was kind of up high behind the bronc as he rode away, and the way like his free arm, like I think he's right-handed, the way he like I was like, it just clicked. I was like, man, your free arm is really important.
It does, and it really does make it look how you control your free arm is kind of it's a big part on what it looks like. Like Shane Proctor, I think is his shoulder messed up right now?
Yeah, like a bicep
And
or something.
he's holding it really low, and it just looks not like Shane. I mean, he's riding, staying on, and whatever, but it just looks funny because that free arm is way important. You wouldn't think so. And
Right.
you have to have control of it, or else you'll get twisted. Like you can't
Yep.
stay square. Because sometimes I get my free arm to whipping, and I get my shoulders twisted, and it's like I don't know. It's hard to explain that because you wouldn't think you get on bronc and have to think about your
Right.
free arm. Like
Yeah.
last year,
But if it's back here.
Yeah.
yeah,
you know?
back there, or clear up here, you're strung out. And
Yeah.
That's what last year in Arlington at the finals. My dad, I was getting my arm whipped behind me and twisting my saddle. I'm walking into the rodeo, and he throws me a rock, and he's all, "Ride with this tonight."
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" He said, just do it. And that's serious. I put it in my hand, and it made me stay square. I held my hand a little bit, and that helped me with the not overthinking it. All I thought about was lifting, and this weird feeling thing in my hand. I wasn't overthinking it, and it really helped. And
Do you still have the rock?
I freaking lost it in Tree Mountain this year.
But you tried to keep it.
I kept it for almost a whole year. Yeah.
I had a little ball of tape thing that had it had horsehair in the middle. I don't know why it ended up having horsehair. There was no significance to it, but it was in my ring bag for the longest. Anyway.
Yeah, there's some things you get like that in your gear bag, and you get home, clean out your gear bag, and like it does not need to be in there. We're like, throw it back in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it in there.
That's funny. Yeah. And you might even like take it out, like you might throw it away one time, and you're like, no,
I just can't.
I'm gonna put it back.
This has been with me. It's been with me through all these miles.
I'm glad I'm not the one person.
Ryder gave me a penny last year before the finals. Stetson gave me $100 before the finals, and I have them in my riding pants. And I'm probably never gonna get on a bronc game without that penny and $100 bill in my pocket.
That's funny.
I hate to be superstitious, but that's
It's part of this. It's more part of the shoe procedure than anything.
That's what I
rather
said.
than
It's a routine.
superstition.
I'm not superstitious. It's part of my routine.
It's more of a sentimental deal.
Right? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I still got those $1 bit. Remember when I wrote Snow White the first time? I found money in the arena.
Yeah.
I still got that in my vest.
That's pretty cool.
There's certain things that were weird.
Do y'all have the guts in the front of your vest?
Yeah, I do. You do too.
I got whatever you got.
He's talking about the padding, right?
Yeah.
We wear the same vest.
I wish I could take mine out. Actually, I wish I could not wear a vest. But I don't like being in the bucking shoes without a vest on. That's terrifying. I got on one horse ever without a vest, and it was on accident. I was nervous, way too nervous. I had to sit in there, and I got on the horse, and when I went to go lean back, I was like, oh. And I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to embarrass myself and be like, oh, hold on, I forgot my vest, because that would have been so embarrassing.
Where was that?
Amateur rodeo. I was a senior in high school. It was in Hooper, Utah.
Yeah.
Hooper.
Hooper.
It was, but that was so embarrassing, and I had such a mental block with it. I dropped my bronc rein like 7 seconds, dropped it, let go of it, because I was thinking so much about not having a vest on.
Dang.
And I don't know, it'll probably never happen again, but it laid across that horse's neck, and I just reached out and picked it up, and the judge didn't even catch it. I felt so bad, though, because I won money, and I felt like I cheated.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of did, but it wasn't my fault they weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
The fact that you're able to pick it back up is amazing.
It won't ever happen again, and the horse was just like a dink.
Yeah.
But
I happened to Jacobs once in Houston. He dropped it and picked it back up, but they caught it.
Oh, they did?
They saw it.
Oh, I remember that. That was
Yeah. I can't remember, but I just remember the group chat after, like, shouldn't have ate that popcorn. I had the halter come completely off in Coleman, and they said they would have marked me if I wouldn't have grabbed the swells with my left hand. But
they would have marked you. I've always wondered if that thing falls off and you keep hold of it,
yeah, they said they would have marked me, but
that's terrifying. That's my worst fear, is my saddle going over a horse's head or my halter falling off.
yeah.
You never had your saddle going on one time?
No.
Knock on wood.
Have you?
Yeah, knock on wood.
Nope. No.
And
I got I'm good at this, because like when they come at my deals, I don't even touch my saddle. They do it all for me.
Yeah.
I think when the short round of state, I didn't
Saddle one horse.
I didn't touch my saddle until I
all he did
crawled
was
on.
measure.
Here, we got your bronc rein measure.
Yeah.
Our hands are about the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all run fingers through? No, y'all just grab it, don't you?
I've done it one time, and I regretted it. I thought I broke my finger. It was terrible.
I've done when
you
I
don't
first
want
started.
no part of that, do we?
Yeah. Running your hand in.
Yeah,
It does feel so good. When I started, I just took like.
Yeah. I remember Jake and Jesse, just a full grip,
Yeah.
all four fingers around the rein.
And then I went to running my hand in on literally every horse. And if I didn't know what it was, I'd go a little bit more rein than what somebody said.
Yep.
Still run my hand in it, because it feels so good. It feels like you just.
Yeah, you're like, they ain't taking it.
No. Well, I quit running my. You got to be careful the way you run your hand in, because we were in Jackson, Mississippi, and I run my hand in on a I can't remember what the horse was called, but I run my hand in the rein. And it was just a nice little hopper. And it was a little bit too short of rein.
Yeah.
When he jumped out there, my hand was on a bind with that. The way I run it in there, and it just, like it opened my hand. I had no control over my hand. It was on,
Yeah.
and I haven't ran my hand in it like that again since then. And if I do it now, I run my whole hand. You know.
Yeah.
I don't run a couple fingers. I just my whole hand in there.
I do my pinky
I do
finger to the very middle, like so. It's like there'll be 2 braids over here, and then I put the 3rd braid, and then the next braid up. I put my ring finger.
You like weave it.
Yeah. So it's like 2 braids down here, 1 braid, 1 braid.
Doesn't Jacobs do something like that too?
We used to. I don't know what he does now, but that was what. Pretty much, I pretty much do everything Jacobs does. You know, I don't have guts in the front of my vest because he took them out, and so like I said, like I'm all about like find someone and then like emulate what they do.
Yeah.
I do the same thing in business. I do like I'm just like I got that's how I kind of modeled my bronc riding. And matter of fact, like there came a point where he was just like not wearing tights anymore. He was wearing just underwear, whatever. And I was like, son of a gun, now we got to switch. So then I just went to wear it. And then later on, he was like, yeah, I just forgot him that day, I think. I was like, yeah, I've been riding this underwear for 6 months.
Gosh dang it, Jacobs, I'm
You got to tell me when we make these updates.
Get the email.
But I don't, him and Sterling like lick their thumb and tap the front of the swells. I don't do like the stuff like that. I let them have that. But like,
I've for a long time, I seen Sterling do that, but I never like pay attention to what he was doing. Because I asked him like, this a couple years ago, I was like, what are you doing? He said, I'm just getting a spot to look. I'm like, oh, God. I watched you lick it. I'm like, is that a nervous tick thing? Like, why do you keep licking your thumb? And then I felt stupid for asking because he's got a big old black mark right there on his swells from doing it every time.
yeah,
It's like
just kind of like holding the rock.
yeah,
It's one of those little deals. That
As you
kinda-
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
holding $100 bill or something.
yeah.
What time we got?
We got about 17 minutes left on one of these cameras. And
What was your favorite rodeo this year?
Ooh. I
You
don't
want me
know.
to say it for you?
What?
Just Piala for me watching him.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was probably the most fun I had at rodeo. That probably wasn't my favorite rodeo,
Yeah.
but that's when shit turned around for me. I was having an awful year, you know, and so yeah, that was probably like the most fun I had. I was like, finally, I can still do this. But my favorite rodeo, even though it wasn't in the same building, San Antonio's still my favorite. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I love that place. I'm gonna say San Antonio again. I don't know. It was different being in that arena. It's just that San Antonio. I love San Antonio.
Yeah. What about you, Statler?
Probably Haley, Idaho.
Yeah.
That place is awesome. It was the first year I went there and like sold out. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Biggest rodeo I think I've ever been to.
What's kind of y'all's go-to stock contractor? If everyone's same added money at all these rodeos, you know, one weekend, you can go to any of them, same distance driving, but like you're going to kind of lean on or top couple that you guys kind of like.
Top. It seems like I feel like you can't not say Frontier or Powder River or
Right.
I don't know. There's so many good.
Or maybe just one that you've got a lot of history with, not necessarily like.
Powder River probably.
Yeah.
We go to. It seems like we go to a lot of their rodeos, but then Frontier, we're going as many as we can.
Such a deep pen.
Yes, and that's what I love about them. You can win. There's not just like one you're gonna win on.
Right.
Like you got them stock contractors. You're like, I hope I get this horse. It's either you want this horse or you're turning it out.
Right.
Like Frontier's not like that. You get a call back. You're like, which good one did I get?
Right.
Not. It's not. I hope I got that one good one. It's which good one did I get?
Yeah.
That's what I love about Frontiers and Powder River. Like they're the deep. And there's more. I keep saying that just them two, but there's more that are. I don't know. I like being able to have options. You know.
Yeah. Did you ever get on medicine, or how many times you get on medicine with her?
I got on her 3 times.
What does she feel like?
It was like Okay, the second strongest horse I ever been on. But I caught Painted Valley when I got on the.
Yeah.
That one felt like it was the strongest, and it might have been because I didn't lift on my rein at all. But Medicine Woman felt so good, like butt dropping out of the sky, and like this. I'm gonna say it's the strongest. I'll say Painted Valley is the second strongest.
I've always wanted to get on her in a bronc saddle.
It's terrifying.
I got on her in a bareback ring
What?
in Athens, Texas. I got on a Medicine Woman in the bareback ride. Yeah, they had a bunch of money added, and then something happened, and at the last minute they kind of changed the added money. So it was just a bunch of circuit guys, but like Frontier, Rafter G, Stace, this stacked pin, stacked.
Yes.
And it was when I got on a few bareback horses. Yeah, and I drew this horse, Medicine Woman. Nobody knew.
Did that
And
hurt?
she turned me a flip. Yeah, it was terrible. She was the beginning of the decline of my bareback career, like where I realized, like, later I got on Cool Water. I don't know if you remember that bareback
I don't
horse.
remember that one.
Anyway, Andrews, another eliminator. And I just got scared. I didn't like it, you know. And so, but bronc riding, like I would love, I'm not saying I'm going to be 94 on her by any means. I'm just saying, like, I would love to try that. Much like someone else you got on, Virgil.
Oh, I need to go back there.
Where was that you got on her?
Baker.
Weren't you the
Montana?
first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Well,
the first one.
I guess Cole Elster got on her Calgary. I found out after, and I was scrambling around there trying to find the rein on Virgil, and nobody's whatever. So I just went X and 5. Like I watched the video, I'm like, it looks like X and 5. I'll go X and 5. I shouldn't have went X and 5. I had so much rein. It was like up over my head, and then when he kicked, I had nothing to lift on. And that horse, honestly, bucks, but it wasn't that powerful.
Really?
I made it look like it was. Like it looked like it was a powerhouse, but what that horse did to me should have never happened. If I'd had the right rein, I feel like it would have been different. But that horse is not as strong as you'd think it was.
Was she out? She out in the E pin? Here?
No, I think today
I don't think they're gonna buck those two though.
they're just gonna one trip them.
Just
So they'll be out the 10th round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
and
Did they?
Killer Bees in this round too.
In
Really?
the TV? No, he's not.
I was gonna say.
I think Killer Bee's gonna be.
They want to just do the one deal.
Yeah, but not in the TV pen.
No.
I hope not, because
That'd be unfair.
yeah, it would.
Yeah.
But
That's one where I'm like, that might be the one, I don't know. I would kind of enjoy it.
Getting on Killer Bee.
Like just I don't want to say I would enjoy it. But it's just like the challenge of it
Yeah.
would be interesting. Like I
think-
kind of want to.
After watching Ryder get on her here his rookie year, for the first year he made it,
When he's about to be 97 points.
so that it didn't look fun, but the crowd that night, oh my,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
I have zero part of me wants to get on that horse ever.
Yeah.
I've watched Ryder get on him 3 times, and it doesn't. It looks like such a dogfight though every time, and it doesn't matter who gets on. Like everybody, nobody's made him look fun to me.
I don't want to say I would want to get on it. I'm not going to say
Oh, you
that.
dang sure would.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
watched the
It
barrel.
would just be like, you know those little butterflies. When
Yeah.
you see your name next to that name, it would be like, oh.
Like, serious. That's like with Medicine Woman. That's what with Corpus Christi. The first time I ever drew that horse, I got a call back. I bet I couldn't sleep for when I got the call back till I got there. I was so nervous and so excited. I'm like, because that was when she was winning on her little streak, winning horse of the year. And I wasn't a rookie.
15, 16.
16, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's the test of all tests. We'll see if you can hang with the big dogs.
What about Onion Ring?
I've never been there, and I really want to be on. I would really I'd give anything to get on that horse.
Yeah.
That
What?
was-
You don't know who's got? We should.
I
I just didn't know if one of your brothers had them.
Stetson's no. Stetson sent me the draw here. Let's see who's got Onion Ring. This is last night. I don't have tonight.
What'd they get on last night? Not that I'll know any of them.
Diamond Fever is what Stetson got on. Ryder got on
Bartender.
Bartender.
Yeah.
They were hard on Ryder last night. It was a really good ride.
Cool Toddy.
Who had Cool Toddy?
I knew I saw a lunatic from hell.
Cody got on.
That didn't seem like a semi-eliminator though, huh?
I didn't even. Yeah, what the?
Why was that horse in that pen? Because at first I was like, this is the semi-eliminator. I told Donnie. And then I saw lunatic and I was like, I thought that was like a hop.
I honestly, I didn't even put that together until that. I remember seeing him last night. Oh, horse was good.
Are we sure that's last night?
Yeah, that's round 4.
Huh.
Yeah, I wonder what the heck.
I
That horse does feel.
almost texted somebody last night because I watched it in a hurry and I didn't see the screen, or maybe it didn't pop up on. But then the way he was bucking, and I was like, no, I don't want to sound stupid. There's no way Lunatic was in the semi-fin. But anyway.
I didn't even put that together. I thought I had the draw for tonight, but I don't think.
Oh well. Well.
Oh, yes I do.
Here we go.
No, I don't. Sorry, that's round 3.
Roller coaster of emotions
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
there.
Which night is the E-pin for the Bears?
I don't know. Every round looks like the
Touche.
Yeah.
Touche. We normally wrap these things up with a little bit of life advice. So it could be something that you personally have like been telling yourself, or something somebody told you, or maybe just a funny quote even. But like just some life advice.
That's a good one. I don't usually have to do this. I don't come up with life.
You don't give a lot of
advice
life advice.
I get life advice.
Yeah, maybe the
I'm the
life
younger
advice
brother.
you receive. I don't know. One obvious thing about I'll go first. And I'll let
Yeah,
Donnie
you
go. Just thinking about bronc riding, because there's just like, as you go through it, there's just you can't rodeo. You can't do it forever. Like I don't know very many other professions outside of like sports where you're, at 44 and you're talking about retirement. It's like or you're done.
Yeah.
And so like my quote would be, I think it's like a Confucius quote or whatever, but a man has 2 lives, and his second one starts when he realizes he only has one.
Oh,
And there's like a point in your bronc riding where you're like, oh dang, I only have one of these lives. Like, I got to make the most of it.
That's a good one. I like that. I've never heard that
I
one.
heard it on a Joe Rogan podcast.
Take a chance. Columbus did.
Bingo.
That's very good one.
Bingo.
Gosh dang, we're not good at this.
no, we're not.
Pitter patter. No, I'm just kidding. What is it?
It could be just lift and stay back.
That is the
And
best.
it doesn't have to be a
That's-
quote. It could just be like a phrase, or like you give it to us in a paragraph, like what you think.
That way you just said, stay back and lift.
Yeah.
Stick to the basics. Actually, that's like the bet. My dad's told me that ever since we started riding, and I really think that's the greatest advice I've ever got for bronc riding. Stick to the basics.
Yeah.
No fancy riding.
Yeah.
It's-
That's a good way to put it.
When in doubt, spur it out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bingo. Thank you for joining us. Rodeo Time, the podcast. We got Mr. Rusty and Statler Wright, brothers. We're here in Vegas at the Mirage, and we're on to the next one, old son. Pow pow.